Hello folks, welcome to Lexi IAS. In today's video, we'll be discussing a current affair topic presented to you by your faculty Sushma KP. So what is the topic that we are going to be looking into today? Southern California wildfires of 2025. And we will be seeing why is it in news. We will also be seeing what is the relevance of it to UPSC, that is your GS paper 3. We will be discussing about your California wildfires. We will also be discussing about your Santa Ana winds and their impact on your climate change. Let's get started. Look at this. Los Angeles wildfire. It is not yet known what sparked the wildfires, although power cables blowing in the wind are likely a cause. But exact reason is not known. There are certain possible reasons why this has started. We will be discussing that in the course of the video. Now, first and foremost, if you see, the wildfires in California, is it a rare occurrence or is it a common occurrence? First and foremost, when you see with respect to California, regions of your Los Angeles and all these places, it is a pretty much common episode. It is not a rare phenomenon. This is also a season wherein from October to January is a season of wildfires for them. So this is in January only. Then what is it happening, or why we're discussing about this as a rare occurrence, or why is it appearing like this is a very important event that we have to be talking about, and everyone's wondering why. The question is, yes, this concept of wildfires in California, Los Angeles, these areas are very common, but the impact that is felt this year is very, very high. Compared to from, we taken the data of 2020, of all the top 10 wildfires of California, top 5 are seen right now itself. So the impact is very strong. This has been very much more than any other time they've experienced. Why is what we will be discussing in the course of video. First and foremost, understand about this wildfire that has caused. This has displaced 30,000 residents. This has displaced 30,000 residents. So many people have had to lose their lives, property, and countless amount of material wealth is lost. So presently, if you see the wildfires that are 3 major wildfires which are consuming your Southern California, that is your Palisades fire, which is located near your Pacific Palisades. Now this is one of the deadliest one, is because this has burnt over 2,900 acres. Next is your Eaton fire. This is blowing above the hills of your Altadena. This has consumed or burnt over 1,000 acres. And same is with your Hearst fire, which is blowing over your Silmar Hills. Now, if you see this cause as to why specifically this year the impact of the wildfire is so high, that is, the last 3 seasons, if you take, that is 2021, 2022, 2023, these years saw unusually wet winters. A lot of wet winters were observed. Fine, okay, what happens if wet winters? A lot of trees, shrubs, etc. grew. Coming back or dialing back to your 2024, it observed one of the driest winters. When we say driest winters, it is equivalent to how it was in 1944 level. So it was a very dry winter. So what happened? Whatever trees, shrubs, etc. was grown in last 2 times, they all became completely dried up. And they were waiting there as a fuel to the fodder, that is to your fires. So like as we discussed in the previously, possible is your because of the high winds, the cables, electric cables were moving ahead, flowing around in the air, which came across the fodder that was standing there and waiting. That was your dried vegetation which was waiting, and this could have caused the fire. According to your NASA, since October, Southern California has received negligible rain. Like we said, it is the driest winter compared to the last 2 wettest winters. So there is alternating dry wet is also one of the adding factors to why this impact of this wildfire is very high. According to your climate scientist Daniel Swain, look at this. The region has experienced the driest start to the winter on record. So this coupled and aided with the impact of wildfire, which is so high. Next, look at this. One more main contributing factor is your Santa Ana winds. Santa Ana winds usually, I'll just explain, just you understand. Understand it's between two great mountains. When your winds start blowing up, they gush through the winds. When they come back from here, that is when they are coming down on a downward descent, they lose all the moisture, they lose the humidity. Because they are coming from the sandwiched region, they are very fast and very dry. Because why? It is lost in the process, no? This fast dry winds, when it is blowing through whatever happened in the previous scenario we discussed, right? Dry shrubs, dry vegetation, upon that this flowing cables, etc. Already fire is happening. Upon that this is aided, it is so fast, so dry, it is burning through acres, like we saw 2000 acres burned, 1000 acres burned, 900 acres burned. All this is happening is added by your Santa Ana winds. So what are these Santa Ana winds? Usually during the period from October to January, high pressure area develops between your Great Basin. And look at this. This is your Santa Ana winds. Move towards the west coast. Okay. And look at this. This is the Great Basin region. This is again area of your high pressure, coupled with already waiting prepared ground field such as your dry vegetation, spark provided by your cables, etc. And this wind, it is spreading to high regions, wider regions it is spread. For example, your Hollywood, yeah, your Oscars nominations were delayed by 2 days is because of this. Many celebrities also lost their homes. Many of the residents had to be evacuated. So this was a destruction on a very high level. And look at this. This is the region of your Great Basin. I want to explain the two big mountains through which the sandwiching, the downward slope is your Santa Ana winds. Yeah, the two mountains are Sierra Nevada and Santa Ana mountains. That is why the name Santa Ana winds. Understanding? This is the increased number of severity. Look at this region. The Santa Ana winds moves and comes towards the west coast or west. If you see this region, see the severity compared to the other places. Look at this. Santa Ana winds, like we discussed, the high pressure zone. One more adding factors. In recent years, it has been held that the wildfires have lengthened its course, which means initially it used to start somewhere at August, means now it's starting in July itself. Dry summers, also your snow begins to melt very soon, your spring kicks in very fast. These things are all aided by your climate change. Also, look at this. According to the Journal of Natural Scientific Reports, it stated that the state's annual burn season has lengthened in the past 2 decades and has shifted from August to July, like we discussed. Another thing is, we have also been known to be telling that we have to curb the temperature rise below 2 degrees Celsius, below 3 degrees Celsius. But these are all impacting to an extent that the natural vegetation as well as the nature is put under huge stress. Like for example, in the very starting we discussed, last 2 winters, very wet winters, led to what? Vegetation coming up, trees, shrubs, etc. started coming up. The very next winter, very dry. What happened? Dried up. Provided fuel and fodder to the wildfire. Understanding? So this is the cause of your wildfires in your California, and the impact of this being this high is because of this. We've reached the end of the content. If you like our content, subscribe to our channel, hit the like button and share it along with your friends. Thank you.